Nik and Eva are in Chesham, Hertfordshire, where a young girl is desperate for their help.
So Molly, you're going to tell us about your problem and how we can help you today.
Well, I have a phobia of costume characters and mascots.
And how long's that been happening for?
I'm not sure, as long as I can remember.
11-year-old Molly lives with her 9-year-old brother Jonathan, her mother Jo, and Jo's partner Lee.
Good girl.
Jo is a zookeeper at a local wildlife park, and Molly likes to help out most afternoons.
I like feeding animals and cleaning out their houses. I clean out the gibbons, I put out their new food. I help out with the penguins and meerkats. I like all the animals.
But what should be a dream come true is turning into a daily nightmare.
I don't like the play area because that's where the dressed up people are.
Molly has a fear of mascots, also known as Masklophobia.
Molly's had a phobia of character costumes and mascots since she was about 5 years old. And it's just, as she's getting older, it's increasingly become a problem.
While most children enjoy playing with the characters, Molly is completely terrified.
When I see a dressed up person, I run away or hide. Sometimes I cry when I see one. Look!
Come on this way, come over here, Mum. Come on.
And with numerous mascots circling the park at all times, it's almost impossible for her to avoid them.
Well, they're big and then they have a big head and big hands and big feet. And then the way they walk, it's really clumsy because they can't see. It's weird.
I'd know it's a phobic reaction rather than just being scared or uncomfortable, because you can see that her anxiety level goes through the roof and she will run as far away as she possibly can. Come on.
No.
Come on.
No!
Unfortunately for Molly, mascots and costume characters aren't just confined to Mum's place of work.
It impacts on day-to-day life wherever we go, because she's constantly anxious about coming across a mascot, coming across a character.
If there's a mascot outside the shopping centre, I wouldn't go in and I'd run away.
I just want for her to be able to go out and make the most of life, and also as a family it just reduced so much stress for us all.
I never laugh at my sister, I'm just a bit frustrated because it's a phobia and she can't help it, and I want someone to sort it out. I'm not sure if I've ever not been scared.
So let me ask you, Molly, once we help you, what's the thing that you want to do most?
To, see one, not worry all the time about costume characters.
Molly's only 11, but she's a very quiet girl. Maybe that's how she is. However, once we cure the phobia, you may well see a totally different Molly who's just got more confidence in general.
You see, you weren't born with this. You understand that, don't you? You weren't born with this. Something's happened in your life that's made you frightened of these characters. And what it tells me is that this experience was when you were a lot younger.
You'd rack your brains trying to work it out. And I actually had a message last night from the father of one of her friends, and he said, "Oh, I remember dressing up in a Scooby-Doo costume, running around at Jack's 3rd birthday party." And Ed, my friend, he's over 6 foot tall, so the costume character would have been significantly taller.
That sounds scary to me already.
Yeah,
anyway,
you
know.
But I think this could potentially be where the trigger was.
Yeah. Phobias are really debilitating, and with Molly, for example, her phobia started because a father quite innocently was entertaining children at a birthday party and came out in a character costume. So it all just started from one very small and one very innocent event.
I think you've had this long enough, don't you?
Wonderful, let's go then.
Having assessed the phobia, Nik and Eva decide that the best place to treat Molly is in the wildlife park itself.
I'd love nothing more than to be able to see Molly just happily wandering around the place, to be able to just not worry. yeah, it'd just be fantastic for Molly to not go through that all the time.
So obviously we have to be really sensitive. We're dealing with an 11-year-old girl here, and we don't want to absolutely terrify her, but it is absolutely paramount to the treatment that we show her a before and an after. Once we actually show her the mascot after treatment and she identifies how calm she feels, that's it. She's back to square one before this ever happened.
Zula, come on. Hello, good girl.
She knows you then, Joe.
Yeah.
With several resident mascots touring the park, it's not long before Nik and Eva witness the sheer terror that Molly experiences almost every day.
No.
What's wrong?
There's just a people.
Where?
The reaction in Molly was very sudden, and you could see she was obviously and visibly distressed. She started to cry immediately. She was jittery.
Can we stop you there?
No.
To see an 11-year-old girl break down the way that she did is very distressing. I mean, she's so lucky to have a mum working in such a fantastic place, and she's got so many great opportunities, and the whole thing is blighted on the fact that she comes here and she's always looking around. We walked around the park prior to that, and I could see that she was just as though she was walking on eggshells. She's scanning everything, looking, you know, because she's so scared. And for an 11-year-old child, that's wrong. That shouldn't happen. So it would be fantastic to get Molly over this phobia because she can start enjoying her life.
I know that you're upset, but I absolutely promise you that this is the very, very last time that you will ever feel like that again. Come on then, let's go and get this sorted for you.
Masklophobia. The unusual nature of Molly's phobia means that it's unknown how many people are affected worldwide. Masklophobia can range from a fear of religious masks and fancy dress costumes to extreme anxiety when in close proximity to life-size mascots. Closely linked is automatonophobia, a fear of human figures.
I know that you're upset, but I promise you that this is the very, very last time that you will ever feel like that again.
Having just witnessed the strength of Molly's reaction, Nik and Eva decide to start her treatment immediately.
Have you ever heard of something called your fight or flight mechanism?
No.
Well, we have this little thing in our brain that if we're in danger, it sets off and it lets something called adrenaline into our system. So we can either fight or run away. Now, from when we were talking earlier, you told me you were at this party when you're 3 years of age. And when Jack's dad came in, and he was dressed as a cartoon character, what he did, because he frightened you, you linked characters in costumes with your fight or flight mechanism. Does that make sense? Yeah. So even though you don't want it to happen, because you actually set it up, you can't stop it now. Does that make sense to you, Mum, as well?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Now you know that some people can do magic, and you know we can, especially me, because I've been practicing for such a long time. Now the great thing is that this is a magic watch. And with this watch, I can take away your fear of the costumes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The technique Nik is using is called visual coding displacement therapy. This is used to replace feelings of fear with those of happiness. By remembering when she was first scared, Molly accesses her fear and Nik uses his watch to mark this point in the periphery of her vision.
Okay, so that one.
Nik then asks Molly to access a memory at the other end of the emotional scale, a happy one.
Down here.
Just there. I thought it was there. So, just look up here again. Okay, keep your eyes on the watch. I'm going to move it very quickly, Molly. Whoosh! Blink, 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 blink. Good girl.
By suddenly moving his watch, Nik displaces Molly's feelings of fear down into the feelings of happiness,
Squeeze your eyes tight. Open your eyes.
eradicating the fear altogether.
Whoosh! Blink. Faster, 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 faster.
Blinking helps the brain reinforce the change that is taking place.
Squeeze your eyes tight. Give me a big sigh.
That's better.
I've got a completely open mind about whatever happens today. I've got total faith that their methods are going to work for Molly, because I can't actually see any other way of helping Molly with her phobia.
The great thing, Molly, is when you open your eyes, it's already started to feel different and the magic's starting to happen. I can see that in your face already. Just open your eyes when you're ready. Might be a little bit strange. Okay, so now, let me ask you, and this is a really big test and this is why it's so magic. Do you remember before when we were looking at the birds? And who were those two characters that you saw that came around?
The monkey and Sparrow.
Okay. Now, if you look back at that memory in your mind's eye, you tell me what's changed.
I can't see anything.
That's right. Is that magic, Mum?
It's amazing.
Isn't it? So, now, the really big test. Are you frightened? So shall we try it? Okay.
You want to put the suit on for you?
With her treatment over, it's time to see if Molly has been cured of her phobia.
What have you done to him, Molly?
And it was just such a lovely sight to see Molly walk over to the costume on the table and then for Nick to put it on and for Molly to feel comfortable about him.
We're all right so far.
And I can already see the difference in Molly.
Ta-da! Hey!
So we were here this morning and two mascots walked by and Molly really freaked out. And then later on in the afternoon, we've got the very same two mascots out and Molly was perfectly happy.
I feel really happy because I managed to stand with the monkey and Safari Sam without being anxious and running off.
Any problems? None at all?
No.
Is that job done?
As well as being able to help her mum out at the park, Molly can now go anywhere without fear of what she may encounter.
How's that?
Fantastic. I can't believe she's smiling.
What do you think, Jonathan?
Good.
Good.
Well done,
Are you
Molly.
surprised?
happy?
You want to give Safari Sam a hug? Now you're allowed to.
I see Molly giving Safari Sam and the monkey a cuddle. I couldn't believe my eyes. That's the first time in my life I've ever seen her do that. It's absolutely fantastic.
There we go, get a picture.
Oh, again, fantastic before and after. Cured. What I didn't expect was to be wearing this bloody thing.
Do you know what? I never expected to see Nick in a monkey suit, but it's whatever it takes, and we've had brilliant results.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier. I'm so proud of them and grateful to the Speakmans for their work.